Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my podcast Midlife a Bahareh, where we embrace the spirit of continuous rebirth and celebrate the wonders of midlife transformations one episode at a time. I am your curious host, Bahareh, and I couldn't be more excited to embark on this journey of self-reflection, lifelong learning, healing, authenticity, and acting to continuously elevate our lives from ordinary to extraordinary with you all. If you're in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, or in the midst of a midlife adventure, or simply seeking inspiration from all walks of life to invigorate your soul, join me in this real-life podcast. Hey there, friends. I am so glad you've joined me again here on Midlife a Bahareh, the space where we explore the beautiful complexities of midlife together with warmth, honesty, and plenty of heart. I am your host, Bahareh, and today I want to invite you into a tender yet reflective conversation that is close to my heart. Midlife has a unique way of making us pause and look around at our lives, wondering about those quiet what-ifs. Maybe you found yourself reflecting on dreams you didn't pursue, chances you didn't take, or lives you imagined but didn't live. If that's ever happened to you, and I'm betting it has, because it is part of being beautifully human, then today's episode is especially for you. Silent grief is something we rarely talk about openly. Maybe because it feels a little too vulnerable, or perhaps because we are not quite sure how to put words to it. But it's that gentle sadness, the quiet longing that can creep up during peaceful moments of reflection. Today, let's explore this feeling together, gently unpack it, and discover how we can honor it, heal, and even use it to guide our path moving forward. Silent grief is subtle and often hidden. It whispers rather than shouts. It shows up as fleeting moments of sadness, quiet sighs, lingering regrets, or nostalgic longing when reflecting on our life. These feelings often surprise us, arriving during peaceful moments when we least expect it, triggered perhaps by someone else achieving a dream we left behind, or simply when we slow down enough to hear our inner voice. It's less about unhappiness with your current circumstances and more about acknowledging the loss of alternate possibilities, the dreams, the aspirations we set aside. Let me share a story with you. Sarah was one of my amazing clients, talented and vibrant. She had a hidden passion for painting. Early in her life, she chose a career in finance because it seemed secure and logical. How many of us have done that? I'm guilty. Yet each time she visited a friend's art exhibition or walked past an art gallery, she'd feel a quite deep ache in her heart. It wasn't that she disliked her current life. She had a good job and comfortable life, but she mourned the artist within her, the creativity that was missing, quietly grieving a dream she had left behind. Another story comes from my other client, Mark, who deeply loved someone in his early 20s, but let her go. You know why? Because he feared he wasn't ready for a serious commitment. Years later, at midlife, Mark found himself occasionally overwhelmed by silent grief and regret, imagining what his life might have looked like if she had followed his heart instead of giving in to fear. You see, my friend, these stories remind us that silent grief is a natural human response to life's inevitable crossroads. Silent grief especially tends to surface during midlife because it is a uniquely reflective phase of our life. It is a natural point for us to pause, to look back at the path we've traveled, and consider the choices we've made. Midlife often prompts deeper questioning about our purpose, fulfillment, and the meaning behind our decisions. During these reflective times, we can become acutely aware of opportunities we passed by and dreams we postponed or abandoned altogether. We might find ourselves grieving career opportunities we didn't seize, adventures we never experienced, passions we never nurtured. Perhaps we chose stability over taking risks, family responsibilities over personal aspirations, comfort over personal growth. This isn't a sign of dissatisfaction with our current life, but rather a recognition of the trade-offs we've made along our journey to be here. Consider my other client's experience. Tom chose to take over his family's business instead of pursuing his passion for music. At the time, it seemed responsible and logical, but years later, Tom felt a persistent sense of longing and sadness about the musical career he never explored. I've personally felt this silent grief also, quietly reflecting on paths not chosen. For many years, I found myself wondering what life might look like if I had followed different dreams earlier. I realized that I didn't want to approach old age carrying heavy regrets about the opportunities I hadn't embraced. Yes, I wanted to become an architect. I also wanted to become an interior designer. But instead, I became an engineer. And then I got into leadership, and life just continued from there. So at some point, I decided to consciously choose the path that is aligned with my true passions and curiosity. I became a life alignment coach. Guiding others towards their authentic self deeply resonates with me. I've been there, done that. I feel them. I feel for them. So I started learning to play the hang drum. I always wanted to have music in my life, but I also didn't want to make it a daunting task. Something that speaks directly to my soul, adding joy and creativity to my daily life. Traveling is another essential in my life, fulfilling my adventurous spirit and enriching my life experiences. Through a lot of compassionate self-reflection and deliberate choices, I've finally learned to honor my past decisions while actively shaping my future so that I don't have to have any regrets or minimize my regrets. Embracing this approach has allowed me to live authentically, fully, and joyfully, even though what I do may not resonate with other people, or they may not even approve it. But that's not the important part. The important part is that I am living the life of my own design. I am building a life, living a life, so that when I'm 85 years old and I look back at my entire life and I don't have anyone around me, I have so much to reminisce on, so much of greatness, the impact I left, the legacy I leave, and the things that I have done in my life that are fulfilling my heart and making my heart full. That's what we are trying to get to. So understanding and addressing silent grief is about gently acknowledging the reality of these feelings that we have, exploring the root causes, and using them to create a more intentional and fulfilling life for ourselves. A life that is by design, not by force. When we feel silent grief, it usually tries to highlight some underlying beliefs that we have. For instance, it is too late for me to change now. I'm stuck in my current path. I can't change my job. There's nothing else for me to do. I missed my opportunity, and there is no second chances available for me. My best years are already behind me, and it's too late to start fresh. How many of us have those thoughts when the inner critique shows up? These beliefs often come from societal pressures that force us to conform to certain life scripts or timelines. What our parents say, what our community says, what our society says, what social media dictates. expectations about marriage, career, parenting, and success, and so many other things. Cultural influences also play a huge part in this, sometimes discouraging risk-taking or unconventional paths. My own personal story is that every time I try to do something different that is unconventional, I'm usually asked the question, why do you want to do it? You're already safe and secure. You have a good job. Why do you want to do something different? How many of you resonate with that? Additionally, our family upbringings can heavily shape our perception of what is possible, pushing us towards the stability and familiarity over dreams and personal passions. Fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of uncertainty, or judgment can further anchor these beliefs deeply within us, making them difficult to challenge. If you are there, I see you, I hear you, and I feel for you. I've been there, done that. And I still face it every day, just from a different angle, with a new understanding. Recognizing and acknowledging these limiting beliefs and understanding their origins is a powerful first step towards releasing their grip on us and finding renewed clarity and purpose to do things differently. As we gently explore silent grief together, it is super important not to just acknowledge these feelings, but also to empower yourself with practical ways to navigate and heal. So let's review some of these powerful yet compassionate tools and techniques that have greatly helped me and my clients to move forward from silent grief towards clarity, peace, and renewed purpose. Acceptance and compassion. I want you to begin by giving yourself permission to feel your grief. You will find significant healing by openly acknowledging your grief of the things you could have done, should have done, would have done, but didn't. Practice gently reminding yourself, it's okay to feel this way. My grief deserves to be acknowledged. And today, I encourage you to compassionately accept your emotions, knowing that they are valid and part of your human experience. Another powerful tool is a letter of release. This is a heartfelt letter that you're going to write to your younger self, expressing forgiveness and compassion for all the dreams you did not pursue. I promise you, if you do this right and be super honest and let your stream of consciousness flow, you will experience a very deeply liberating feeling that allows you to release regret and open yourself to new possibilities. Consider writing this letter this week. Let the words flow honestly and compassionately, and then gently release the letter symbolically. Give it to water, safely burn it, give it to the wind. Gratitude reflection. Regularly practice gratitude, listing positive outcomes from your chosen path, your deep relationships, your achievements, and your cherished experiences. This practice of gratitude will help shift focus from regret towards a genuine appreciation and joy. One of the great mantras I have for gratitude is, I am grateful for all that I am and all that I am not, for all that I have and for all that I have not, for all that is and for all that is not. It is very encompassing, and it also acknowledges all that we have and all we don't have, because everything that we don't have is for a reason, and that reasoning requires gratitude. Start a gratitude journal this week, recognizing the beauty that has arisen from the path you have taken. Another powerful tool is visualizing new possibilities. One of my friends visualized starting her baking business. This was a long-held dream for her. Taking one small step towards this vision transformed her grief into excitement and actionable joy. Visualize a dream you've held so close to your heart but haven't yet pursued, and commit to one actionable step this week. Let yourself feel excited about new possibilities. Small, consistent steps, that's where the magic happens. You don't necessarily need to take big action. Seek connection and share. Silent grief thrives in isolation. Sharing your experiences with your trusted group of friends and supportive communities can be immensely healing. I've seen clients experience profound relief and connection simply by speaking their truth openly. I actually attended a red tent event for empowered women yesterday. And for the first time, I felt I was in a very small and intimate community of empowered women who were radically honest. Everybody spoke about their challenges, when they doubt themselves, everything they haven't done in life or could have done in life. And it was quite liberating. So having that supportive community of like-minded people is extremely important. It doesn't have to be large. It could just be one person, as long as it is a place that is non-judgmental and safe for you to speak and open up truthfully. I want to challenge you to reach out and share your silent grief with someone safe, with your person, and allow yourself the gift of connection and relief. Set aside quiet moments this week to reflect deeply on one significant path you didn't take, and allow yourself the space to feel fully. Write a compassionate letter of release and courageously take one small step towards pursuing a meaningful dream that is still alive in your heart. Remember, my friend, every path chosen or not chosen shapes your unique life story. Embrace your journey with kindness and courage, knowing that it's never too late to live authentically and fully. If today's conversation touched your heart and you feel a calling to explore this further, I'd love to connect with you. Together, we can gently uncover your deepest dreams, rediscover your passions, and align your life with your authentic self. Reach out. Go to my website, www.sageinyou.com, and book your free complimentary alignment session. Let's have a soul-centered conversation. Thanks for joining me today on Midlife a la Bahareh. Until next time, continue nurturing your beautifully authentic self. See you soon. Peace out. Now let's get the legal stuff out of the way. Midlife a la Bahareh is a personal podcast. All content is provided strictly for general information, education, and entertainment purposes. Any views or opinions represented in this podcast are personal and do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the owner may or may not be associated with professionally or personally, unless explicitly stated. Any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual. Any use of the information from this podcast or material linked to it, whether to the podcast or website, is undertaken at the user's own discretion and risk. It is not intended to serve as a replacement for guidance from a qualified expert, nor is it meant for diagnosis or treatment. Thank you for supporting my podcast.